In the heart of the Persian Empire, under the rule of the mighty King Ahab, a story of courage, faith, and deliverance unfolds. The grand city of Susa, capital of 127 provinces stretching from India to Ethiopia, was a spectacle of power and opulence. But within its walls, a drama was brewing that would change the destiny of an entire people. It began with a feast and a queen's defiance. Queen Vashti, famed for her beauty, refused the king's summons to display herself before his drunken guests. In his fury, King Ahasuerus deposed her, setting in motion a search for a new queen. The most beautiful virgins in the empire were brought to the palace, among them a young Jewish orphan named Hadassah, known by her Persian name, Esther. Raised by her wise cousin Mordecai, Esther's grace and beauty quickly captured the king's heart. He loved her more than any other, and placing the royal crown upon her head, he made her queen. But on Mordecai's advice, she kept her Jewish heritage a secret. Meanwhile, Mordecai, a faithful servant of the king, sat daily at the palace gate. He uncovered a plot by two of the king's chamberlains to assassinate Ahasuerus, and through Esther, he warned the king. The act was recorded in the royal chronicles, but Mordecai's loyalty went unrewarded at the time. Soon after, the king promoted a man named Haman, the Agagite, elevating him above all other princes. The king commanded all to bow before Haman, but Mordecai, a devout Jew, refused to kneel to any man but his God. Haman was filled with a venomous rage. Scornful of punishing Mordecai alone, his hatred grew to encompass all of Mordecai's people. He saw a chance to annihilate the Jews. Haman went to the king, poisoning his ears with lies. "There is a certain people scattered among the provinces of your kingdom," he said, "whose laws are different from all other people and who do not keep the king's laws. It is not in the king's profit to let them remain." He offered 10,000 talents of silver to the king's treasuries to destroy them. The easily swayed king gave Haman his signet ring, sealing the fate of the Jews. "The people are given to you," said they kin, "to do with them as seems good to you." A decree was sent to every province. On the 13th day of the 12th month, the month of Adar, all Jews, young and old, women and children were to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated. When Mordecai learned of the decree, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and cried out with a loud and bitter wail. The news spread, and there was great mourning among the Jews. Esther, hearing of Mordecai's distress, was deeply troubled. She sent messengers to him, and he revealed the terrible plot, urging her to go before the king and plead for her people. But to approach the king unsummoned was to risk death. Esther hesitated. "Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape," Mordecai warned her. "For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your father's family will perish, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." Mordecai's words ignited a fire in Esther's soul. She sent back her reply, "Go, gather all the Jews who are in Susa, and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my attendants will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish." On the 3rd day, Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the king's palace. When the king saw her, she won his favor. He held out the golden scepter. "What is your request, Queen Esther?" he asked. "It will be given to you, up to half the kingdom." Esther's plan was in motion. "If it pleases the king," she replied, "let the king and Haman come today to a banquet I have prepared for them." Haman left the banquet overjoyed, but his mood soured when he saw Mordecai at the gate, still refusing to bow. He went home and, on the advice of his wife and friends, built a gallows 75 feet high, intending to ask the king the next morning to have Mordecai hanged on it. That very night, the king could not sleep. He commanded the book of the Chronicles to be read to him, and he heard the story of how Mordecai had saved his life. "What honor or dignity has been bestowed on Mordecai for this?" the king asked. "Nothing has been done for him," his servants replied. At that moment Haman entered the court to ask for Mordecai's death. Before he could speak, the king asked him, "What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?" Thinking the king meant to honor him, Haman described a lavish ceremony, royal robes, the king's own horse, and a proclamation of honor led by a noble prince. "Go at once," the king commanded. "Do all that you have said for Mordecai the Jew. Leave nothing out." Haman was forced to parade his hated enemy through the city streets, crying out, "This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor." Humiliated, Haman rushed home in mourning. That day, he was summoned to Esther's second banquet. Again, the king asked, "What is your petition, Queen Esther?" With all her courage, she revealed her identity and Haman's treachery. "I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, to be killed, and to be annihilated." The king was stunned. Who is he, and where is he? Who would dare to do such a thing? Esther declared, "The adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman." The king rose in a rage. As he stepped into the palace garden, Haman, in terror, fell upon the couch where Esther was reclining to beg for his life. The king returned to see this and roared, "Will he even molest the queen while I am in the house?" At the king's word, his servants seized Haman. Then one of the chamberlains pointed out the gallows Haman had prepared for Mordecai. "Hang him on it," the king commanded. So Haman was executed on the very gallows he had built for the man he sought to destroy. The king gave Haman's estate to Queen Esther, and Mordecai was brought before the king. But the terrible decrees still stood. Esther fell at the king's feet, weeping, begging him to revoke the evil plan. The king, unable to reverse his own edict, empowered Esther and Mordecai to write a new decree in his name. This new edict granted the Jews in every city the right to assemble and protect themselves, to destroy any armed force that might attack them, and to plunder the property of their enemies. When the fateful day arrived, the Jews gathered and stood up for their lives. Their enemies were terrified, for the fear of Mordecai, now the king's second-in-command, had fallen upon them. The Jews struck down their enemies with the sword, and in the citadel of Susa alone, they killed 500 men, including the 10 sons of Haman. Across the empire, they were avenged of their foes. To celebrate this miraculous deliverance, Mordecai established the festival of Purim, named for the pur, or lot, that Haman had cast to choose the day of their destruction. It was to be a time of feasting and joy, of sending gifts to one another and giving to the poor. And so, through the courage of a queen and the faith of her people, a day of sorrow was turned into a day of gladness, a testament to the unseen hand that guides the destiny of nations. Thank you for watching our videos. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting video from this channel.